Hello everyone, welcome back to this Voiceflow mini-series. In this tutorial, this should be short, we will be talking about Airtable, right? So far in the tutorial series, we've been using Sheetbest to connect to our Google Sheets, but there is in my own opinion, an even better and more comfortable to use application called Airtable. So while Sheetbest gives us a simple API connection to our Google Sheets, Airtable helps us manage the entire Google Sheets online, right? So you not only get like API connections to your sheet, you also have you're also able to perform certain functions, right? So let's say, for example, you have this sheet here, right, and you're trying to return only a row from this sheet that contains this email, right? You can do that on Airtable, right? In using app.sheet.best, right, we would have retrieved the entire data set, right? Then we will now filter using our JavaScript step, right? And well, that can get very complex. So Airtable gives us various APIs that we can leverage to filter our data as well, right? So there are so many other cool things you can do with Airtable. I've not fully explored all its functionalities, right? But the little I've been able to do shows that Airtable is really amazing, and you should really consider it when working with Voiceflow, right? So basically, what Airtable does is that it allows you to manage your sheets online, your Google Sheets online, right? So let's move over to Airtable. So you can just go over to airtable.com, right? And then you can just sign up. I think they have like a free trial or something, right? Or there's a free tier. I can't really remember. So we can, once you're done with the whole setup, right, you can then come over here and create a new connection, right? So we create from scratch. So you can see it gives you all of these functionalities, right? So much you can do here, right? But what we just want to do, we just want to connect to our Google Sheet, right? So add or import Google Sheet, or we can import data directly from here, Google Sheets, right? So we'll just use this. So we'll select the Google Sheets account, right? And then, okay, I think it's because I already had like let me cancel this. I already had one before, so I can just connect a new Google account, right? And then it's to give you your list of Google accounts, and then you can connect from there, right? So once you've connected, I'm thinking it will connect directly to your drive, right? And then you can then use that as your Google Sheets account. Now the sheet we're looking at is the admission inquiry sheet, right? Which is this one, right? Admission inquiry sheet. So we can just come here and select that. So it has detected our fields, and now we can just hit import. So the reason I'm using a sheet with data already, because normally we start with sheets without data, is so that we can get information, and so when we get information, I'll be able to do some other explanations, right? At the same time, we would also write to the sheet. So not to worry. So now that we have this, we can then proceed to basically start interacting with the sheet, right? So how do we do that? So in order for us to interact with this sheet here, right, we need to use the API reference, right? So what do I mean by that? You can just come to Google here and type Airtable API reference, right? And then just open up the first link you see here, right? And that takes you to this reference guide here. The beautiful thing about Airtable is that it gives you demos or examples based off of the data that you have currently within their system, right? So for now, if you can see that I have this admission inquiry sheet here, right? Even though I just uploaded it on the platform, so I can just click on this. So now you can see it has taken me to this place, right? This form or this documentation, right? And then we can see all sorts of information here. So you can see authentication, right? To authenticate, to be able to send and receive information from Airtable, you need, so this is the link, right, that I will need. You will have a different, this is what they call the app ID, right? Or the sheet ID, sorry, the sheet ID, right? You would have a different sheet ID to me, right? And then sheet 1 is where my data is, right? If I come here, you can see it's sheet 1. It's written somewhere here. Can't remember where that is, but it's written somewhere here. Oh yeah, here it is, sheet 1, right? So, and then authorization, just like we did before. Then this time it's, sorry, we've not done this before. We've never done authorization before. We've used headers before, and the header we've been using has been content type, right? But now we're using authorization. So this adds an extra layer of security on our APIs, right? And our API call. So we use the bearer keyword, and then we give the secret token, right? Good. So we need to grab that secret token in order for us to be able to interact with our table, right? So let's do that first before we do any other thing. So how we do that is right here. They've already given you all the information you need. So Airtable uses simple token-based authentication. For personal development, we recommend using personal access tokens, which can be created at this link here. So we can just open this in a new tab. And then, yeah, so we can just create a new token, right? So let's call this demo token 2, right? And we can just add a base, right? So we have this as the, we can either choose all data sources, but I want to just specify this, just this sheet. So just click that, and we need to add a scope as well. What will the token allow the user do, right? So we want it to be able to read, we want it to be able to write, we want it to be able to I think that's good enough. Reading and writing is good enough, right? That's all we want to do really. So we can create the token. So the token has been created now. Copy it. Make sure you copy it because you'll never see it again. So I'll just copy mine and paste it somewhere here, right? Control V. That's good. So now can close this. Good. So now we can come back to our documentation. Now the next thing will be, said the ID for sheet 1 is this, right? So you can just keep on reading all this, right? So it's pretty easy to follow. Now the next thing that we would like to do now is start sending and receiving information to and from our sheets, right? So they've already given you an example of the type of request here, right? And also you can also go through this table. So these tables here are the field IDs. So just in case you want to get information from a particular column, right? So we have the major, we have the residency, we have the email, all this, they all map to what is here: name, email, residency, major, level, question, time, right? So all this, they all map to these values here, and these are their various IDs. So if you want to do something with the question column, you use this ID basically, right? So now let's, basically get information from our Airtable, right? So we just copy this link, right? And then we can send information to it, but we can get our table information from it. So let's go over to Voiceflow. So we just get a simple API step. Now where is that link? Oh, sorry, this is the link right here. Okay, copy this and then just come here and drop this. So that's the link, and notice it says something like max records equals 3. So we expect that only 3 records will be returned here, right? If you read through the documentation, you would understand, you would see where they've explained all these things, right? Then the next thing is your header, right? So you need your header as authorization. So let's come back here. Let's add a header. So now let's add a header. I think authorization header, right? Click on that, and then the value, if you remember what was on Airtable, it's bearer then your secret token, right? So you type in bearer then space your token. So I'll copy my token down now and paste it here, right? So that's it. Then yeah, so I think when we send information when we send the get request now, we should get this information back, right? So let's do that. So let's do that. Okay, what's going on? Okay, maybe I don't think we need to choose the parameters. Let me try reloading it. Okay, there's something I'm missing. Oh, the link has disappeared. I think I should have that. Okay, so we can, let me repaste the header in the link, right? So now we should be able to send our information and get whatever is in the sheet. So you can see all the information that the information we got from it's everything we got from the sheet, right? We asked it for a maximum of 3 records, right? But there are only 2 records, right, in our sheet. So we will still look a bit more into some other functionality, some other ways to filter the data on our sheet. But I just wanted to get us all up and running, right? I hope it wasn't too difficult or too crazy, and we will continue in the next video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.